This is what we discussed in the last class, right? So we have seen what is HTML and what are tags and uh, comments. Maybe one more time. I think that's the heading tags. And so we have seen self-closing, what are self-closing tags, what are normal tags, nothing but tags are going to have both open and closing tags. And what happened to this one? Done. Assignment ఇచ్చాను గుర్తుందా మీకు? మీరు అప్పుడు left అయిపోయారా? చేశారా? నిజంగా చేయలేక అర్థం అవుతుంది. Then why? So if you're done, it's good. So let me repeat this entire content once again, right? So basically, we are going to need a software to write the HTML code. So the software is VS Code. So what is the another name? So what is the common name that we can call for VS Code? So IDE. So to write any programming language, we are going to use IDEs. So IDEs are, so what is the full form of IDE? So someone said integrated and someone said environment. So right. So integrated development environment. So that is what an IDE is. And so VS Code is also an IDE. And we are going to write or we are going to use tags in HTML. So what are tags? So basically, if you see anything between angular brackets, we are going to call them as tags. So what we are going to write inside the angular brackets? So like keyword or else a name, to be more precise, we are going to write a name or a keyword. So which is going to have a certain functionality to it. So whenever we are using this tag, that means we are actually applying the functionality of the tag, right? So sometimes we call this as a tag, but to use more proper terminology, we can call it as an element as well. So you can use tag or else element, anything is fine. And so here the BR is using to why to break. So what it is going to break? Cursor, right? So whatever the cursor pointer we are going to have, it is going to break that and it will take you to the new line. And after that, we have seen heading tags. So why we are using heading tags? To highlight or to represent the heading. So you can say like this as well. So to represent an heading, we are going to use heading tags. And heading tags are having from range from H1 to H6. And as I said earlier or in the previous class, HTML is case insensitive. Like it does not know the difference between uppercase and the lowercase alphabets. So you can use any one of it, but go with lowercase. That's what is preferred. And then that's it. So what are we going to discuss today? So let me write this one. So whatever the things that I asked you to do, so I will also do the same. First, I need a welcome message, right? Welcome. Fine. HTML. So this is a welcome message. And then what I need here, I need my name. So name. So let's say, and let's say, yeah. So now I need to break the line. And again, I need break because I need to go to new line. And then here of fast. Some here. And then here I need to write favorite. So don't favorite. Oh. So like this, and then again, I need to give a name. This code was set by me, so I need to write my name. Again, my name. So next, again, BR to take it to the next slide. And what I need here, closing message. So for closing message, I want a little bit smaller than the H1. And I'm going to say, thank you. And also say, don't visit again. Fine. And this is what I'm, and if I just go back, this is what it's going to look like. So as you can see, it is looking like this. Now, The point is, each time using a break or a BR tag is actually a hectic one. So it's making difficult for us to use BR every time. So imagine just how many lines we have written here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for 8 lines, we approximately used 4 to 5 BR tags. So every time it is going to create a huge difficulty for us to write the code, right? Imagine having 100 lines of. So let me show on a parallel batch. So I'm actually dealing with them with the same file. So these many lines of code I have written inside. I mean, for all each and every concept. So just imagine if I use BR tags for each and every line, that it is going to increase the size of it. And also it is going to make very difficult for me to write the code, because my concentration is completely on breaking the line rather than writing the code. Right. So this is where we are going to use a different tags. So first and foremost, for me, this name is like a paragraph. This is like a separate line, right? So in HTML, we are having a tag called as paragraph. We are having a paragraph tag, which is used to represent paragraph. And we are going to represent the paragraph tag with P. So basically, paragraph is a block level element. So when I say block level element, what it is going to do, it will occupy whatever the line it is going to take. And then even though it is having a space, instead of placing this content next to it, it will push the content to the next line. Right? That's what paragraph tag will do. Similarly, like H1, but the only difference between H1 and paragraph is it is not altering the text size and also the weight of the text. Like it is not making the text darker, and also it is not manipulating the size of the text. This is just a normal text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this paragraph tags for this entire content, and I can remove BR right now. Why? Because it is going to occupy line. So I don't need BR anymore. And let's use paragraph here as well. And let's remove this. And same goes here. Place it. And same goes here. And by the way, I don't need BR, but I'm writing BR here, right? So let's do one thing. Let's place this content separately inside a paragraph. So I'm going to say paragraph. And then paragraph. If I go back, this is what I need. And it is looking much neater than the previous one, right? So it is looking good. So now let's go to inspect once. So what we can do in inspect, we can actually see what we have written inside this page. We can see the code of my web page. And if I just scroll down, so here, what I have done, I place this paragraph tag within another paragraph. But are you able to see the paragraph tag here? Now you can see this, right? Now what happens? Look, but that certain paragraph tag opened and closed immediately. But this is not how I written the code, right? If I remember correctly, the way I have write the code is I have considered a paragraph tag, and then inside the tag I have written another paragraph tags. But here what's happening? The code was altered, like by whom? By the browser. Why? Because this paragraph tag will not allow another block level element inside it. So what does that mean? Like paragraph tag is a block level element, right? So when I'm writing another paragraph inside it, so another block level element, it is not going to allow it to do so. So that is the reason whatever the tag that I have written here, it is closing it immediately. And it is considering this as a separate paragraph now. So can we have a solution for this? The answer is yes, but not right now. We will discuss in later classes. But just remember this point. That is, you cannot use a block level element inside another block level element, but there is an exception. We are going to discuss about those exceptions, but make sure you are remembering it. So let me remove it because it is not working right. So let's follow the original one, which is let's use BR. For now, let's use BR and let's go back. Now, this entire content was wrapped inside paragraph. It's good. Now now whatever the code I'm having, it is properly. So far, any doubts? So you might be wondering, like, still, why can't we use a paragraph tag within another paragraph? Right? I hope you are still having this doubt in your heads. So let's do one thing. When we are styling the tag, so basically I haven't discussed it, so ignore it once again. Just understand the concept. So what I have said, I said the background color has to be in red color. Are you able to see anything which is having a background color red color? Let's imagine maybe the code that I have written here might be wrong. So let's use it on a different tag. And if I just go back, so the code is working, right? Whatever the lines that I have written there, it is working. That is not an issue. But why it is not working here? That is the whole point. So we have already seen that this particular paragraph tag is closing immediately in the browser. As it is not having any content in between this, it is not going to display the color. That's the one thing. See, the వెంటనే close అవుతుంది కదా. So if you look at this, see what happened. The paragraph tag అనేది immediately close అవుతుంది. So it can only apply the styles when it is having content in between this tag. So does it having any content? No. As it is not having any content, it cannot display the red color. And why do I even need to use this? So sometimes instead of applying the colors or applying the styles individually, we are going to apply the styles for the parent. So in this case, who is the parent here? So this is the parent and these two are children, right? Right. This is the parent tag because it is wrapping these two inside it. So this is the parent tag and these two are children tag. So as these two are children tag, so if I apply anything for a parent, if I apply any styles to a parent, those styles has to be applied for the child tags. So can we do that? The answer is yes. But right now, because of the block level element restriction, so we are having a restriction here, right? Block level elements cannot have another block level elements inside it. So because of that restriction, it is not able to apply the styles for the child tags. But as I said, there is an exception. So I will give an exception right now, but the answer is we are going to discuss it once again, the major functionality of this particular tag. Now, so what's happening? The child are accepting the styles of the parent. I haven't said anything background color for these children. Instead of that, I applied it for the parent, and whatever the styles that I'm applying there are actually getting applied to the children as well. So this is a shortcut, like this is like a shortcut for you. So make sure you are remembering it. See, I applied color for the parent and the children were also adopting the color of the parent. This is what's going to happen. Clear? But it is not going to be allowed when you are using paragraph within another paragraph. So because of that, what we are doing is we are actually going to remove the paragraph styles. We will use PR for now. So any questions? Okay. No. Also, people who are in online, I don't know why people are just being in silent. So Anil, Kishore, Akshaya, Shruti, and Sohan, Abu. Same in the line. Okay. So I hope people who are in online are not having any doubts. So basic thing. సో ఇమాజిన్ చేయండి ఇది మొత్తం ఒక ఫ్యామిలీ. ఓకేనా? సో ఈ ఫ్యామిలీలో ఏంటంటే ఇద్దరు చిల్డ్రన్స్ ఉన్నారు. సారీ. సో ఏమైంది, ఇద్దరు చిల్డ్రన్స్ ఉన్నారు. వాళ్ళిద్దరు ఎవరంటే పారాగ్రాఫ్స్. రైట్. సో ఎంతమంది పిల్లలు ఉన్నారు ఇక్కడ? సో దిస్ పారాగ్రాఫ్ ఆర్ ద పేరెంట్స్. సో దిస్ పారాగ్రాఫ్ is having a style to it. So style. So nothing but some properties are having for the parents. So parent is having a property of red color. But if you look at this, the childrens are not able to apply those properties. A property in the sense, don't consider it like a genetic ones. They are like, a money or something. So why? If I just go to the code in the browser, if you look here, this is the reality. So what happened? My intention is the children has to stay with the parent. In order to apply the properties, the children has to stay with the parent. But if you look here, the children are not inside the parent. They came out. So simple గా చెప్పాలంటే ఇది గొడవ అయింది ఇంట్లో వాళ్ళతో. సో వాళ్ళు ఏం చేశారంటే సపరేట్గా వచ్చేసారు. So now they cannot apply the styles of the parent, right? Because they are outside the parent. So why? Because these two are having same properties. Block level elements cannot have a block level elements inside. So have you all seen Mr. Perfect movie? Mr. Perfect. So there is something called as matching. So we both are having same characteristics. That's what is going to happen. But the part is, when you are having same characteristics, they always ripple, like they don't connect with each other. Simple point. ఎందుకని జస్ట్ ఇమాజిన్ చేయండి, అటు పక్క ఈగో ఉంటుంది, ఇటు పక్క ఈగో ఉంటుంది, గొడవ అవుతుంది. నెక్స్ట్ హూ ఇస్ గోయింగ్ టు టాక్ ఫస్ట్? No one. That's what's going to happen. So here also, these two are having the same properties. So paragraph and paragraph are having the same properties. So they cannot get together with each other. In simple terms, mere paragraph or else heading tags, ఏ బ్లాక్ లెవెల్ ఎలిమెంట్స్ ని ఏ బ్లాక్ లెవెల్లోనే యూజ్ చేయలేరు. కానీ ఒక ఎక్సెప్షన్ ఉంది. ఆ ఎక్సెప్షన్ ఏంటంటే ఇట్స్ కంప్లీట్లీ ఆపోజిట్. వీ జనరల్లీ కాల్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఎ న్యూట్రల్ బ్లాక్ లెవెల్ ఎలిమెంట్. వాటికంటూ సపరేట్ క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్స్ అంటే ఏమి ఉండవు. అవి లైక్ ఎట్లా అంటే లైక్ వైట్ కలర్. సో వైట్ కలర్ విల్ నాట్ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్స్, రైట్? ఇట్ విల్ బ్లెండ్ ఇట్ విత్ ఎనీ కలర్. In the same way, we are going to have one more block level element, which is called as div. That's what I have used previously. So div is like a white color. It can blend with any kind of block level elements. So if you want to apply any of those styles, like if you want to take the relation of parent and child, then you are going to use a div. Clear? అర్థమైందా? ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా? సో div కూడా బ్లాక్ లెవెల్. So as I said, we are going to discuss about the div, but don't consider the div right now. I just provide you an information. That's it. We will see in future classes like what is a div and how to use a div as well. And also remember, div is going to be your best friend. So consider it like a best friend because you are going to use it more often than you think, right? And so, any doubts? Still any question marks left? No? Any new questions? No. So fine. So let's discuss about a new tags, like some other tags which are called as formatting tags. So why we are going to use this formatting tags? To format the text. A simple idea, even don't know how to call it, or else you can even say decoration to decorate a text or to represent a text. Anything is fine. So basically, formatting tags are inline tags, most probably, most of them. So first, let's understand what are formatting tags and how many formatting tags we have. So have you all having experience of using Microsoft Word document, right? So there we are going to have a lot of features. Like if I want to highlight a text, we can use bold, underline, and also I can strike through it, right? And also I can highlight the text if I want to by using a background color. And also I can make the text italic. And what else? From and what else can I do? Color. So basically, let's imagine these are the basic formattings that we can do in Word document. And these type of formattings can be done in the HTML as well. So to apply the bold style, we are going to use a tag called bold. So basically, it is represented in B. So if I write any content in between B, then it is going to highlight that particular content. So like this. So you might be wondering, sir, we are already having H4, right? So if you look at H4, this is H4. These two are having the same size and also the same weight of font, same font weight. But what is the advantage of using bold tag? So instead of using H4, why do I need to use bold? So let's find out the answer and let's say bold. And then let's write some content again. So imagine I'm having some content and in between this content, I want to highlight a text. So that's what I have done, right? So what happened here? So this is a normal text. And as you can see, we can differentiate the bold text with the normal text, right? Let's say instead of using bold tag, imagine I'm using H4. H4. Now you have understood, right? H4 is a block level element. So it cannot blend in with the paragraphs. So if I want to use anywhere in between the paragraph, I cannot use H4. Why? It will separate the content from the paragraph. But on the other hand, bold is an inline element. As it is an inline element, it is going to blend in with the paragraph. So that's what it is going to be. Clear? Any questions? No. And let's implement italic as well. So how to write an italic? So we are going to use I. So if you are using an I tag, that means it is italic. And this is what italic text will look like. Just it will change the text formatting. It will tilt the text a little bit. That's it. Clear? So this is what italic is. And there are also an alternate for italic tag and also for the bold tag. So what are nothing but alternate? So those alternates are so strong. So instead of using bold, you can even use strong. For example, let's consider this certain statement and say strong. And strong is a tag. So this is a strong tag. This is the text that is going to represent the type of strong. And this is for bold. So you cannot differentiate between these two. Then you might be wondering, why am I having two tags? So the functionality is, so when they introduced the strong tag, they said, use the strong tag if you are having or if you want to represent some important text. So if you are having important text, then go with strong. Or if you just want to highlight the text, like it is not so important, but you want to highlight it, then go with bold. So that's what they mentioned. And when it comes to italic, the same thing happened. They are having an alternate tag of EM. So let's see. Here I'm having some text. Where is this? I have used italic. So let's consider this particular text. And then let's use EM tag. And if I just go back, see, this is a normal text, but immediately after this, you can find the italic tag. I mean, italic format was applied to it. It is because of EM. So why they are using this EM? No answer, they just do it. That's it. They just introduced EM. And you might be wondering, do I need to use this too? The answer is no. So if you want to highlight a text, regardless of whether it is important or if it is not important, still you want to implement it, go with bold. Don't need to write multiple tags like strong and EM. No need to write those things. So straight away go with bold and also go with italic. So why am I stating this? Because we are not going to develop the entire web page in these tags, right? So by the end of the day, you will manipulate those tags. So even without writing a bold tag, we can make the text darker. And also we can increase the size of the text. We can even change everything. When we are discussing CSS, so basically we are going to manipulate everything, right? So just remember that if you want to highlight a text, use bold. If you want to apply italic, so simply use I. No need to struggle a lot by using strong and EM. Clear? Any questions? No. Right. So what about underline? So basically, so initially we are having a tag called as U, but U tag was got deprecated. So what is meant by deprecated? That means it got retired, but still it is working. So if I use a U tag, see, you can find an underline text, right? But what is the term of deprecated? So it means it retired. It is still exists in this HTML code, but in upcoming versions, they may remove it. So there is no guarantee when they are going to remove this particular tag. So did they provide an alternate for this? The answer is yes. So what they mentioned is, so use INS, insert tag. So they changed the underline tag to insert. So it is going to have the same effect as an U, same effect like an underline tag, where it is going to underline the text. So what shall I do? Increase the ISO. Right? It's clear. And so we are having insert tag. And similar to this, so previously we used to have a strike. So what is strike? So this is what a strike is. So strike through a text. But now you can find a color in a red. So compare it to a normal font or normal tags, you can find strike in a red color. Again, strike was also deprecated. So basically, if you are having any deprecated tags, they either represent in red color or sometimes you have to get this information. So what is an alternate that we need to use instead of strike? DEL, delete. Clear? So for underline, you are going to have or you are going to use insert, INS. For strike through, you are going to use delete. Right? Then what about to highlight? So to highlight, you are having a tag called as mark. So mark. So if I'm using mark, this is what's going to happen. So it is going to highlight the text with yellow color. So you might be wondering, sir, can I change the color? The answer is no. Not right now, not in HTML, you cannot change the colors, but by using CSS, you can. But by default color of mark is yellow color. And what else do we have? So italic was also done. And also in Word document, there is something called as superscript and subscript, right? Have you ever heard about superscript and subscript? So I hope you are all mathematical students. So you have done mathematics. So x square. So basically the square is a superscript because it's a top. And if you are having log at the base 10, so the anything that was at the base, then we are going to call it as a subscript. So here, if I write x square, so this is what it is going to represent. So let me place it inside a paragraph first and x square. So my intention is to represent an x square. Is it looking like an x square? No, it is more looking like an x2. So I want to make this as a superscript for the x. So what we are going to do is we are going to use a tag called as SUP and then write the number inside it. And that's it. Now you are having a superscript. And also to make or to represent a subscript, same thing will happen. Log 10, but I don't want it to display next to the log. I want it to display at the base of the log. So in order to make it happen, so we are going to have something called as sub. That's it. So I'm writing like this. So this is how it is going to represent. Subscript and superscript. So if you want to represent a mathematical terms or anything that you want to represent at the top, then you are going to use subscript, or if you want to represent at the base, then you are going to use, top superscript and base subscript. And here, when it comes to the quote, so I have written a quote, right? And I have also used the implies. But the part is I don't like it. Because if you look at any web page, these implies are going to be in a certain style, right? So have you ever seen quotes in a web page? So they are going to use a huge dot and they will write like this. A curve will be there, but it is not looking like that. So here, in order to represent quotations, we are having a tag called as Q. Right. So where is my code, by the way? So this is my code, right? And let's use Q. Let's paste it here. We are going to find the difference between the codes. This is what Q tag will do. I haven't, used codes anywhere. Instead of that, I used Q tag. So immediately it is going to give the quotations which I needed. And also, what if I write inside a code tag? We have code. Excuse that. And this is how you are going to write a quotation. So you might be wondering, can I change the size? Like, can I make the text more dark? The answer is yes. So how? So my intention is I want to make this text look darker. So whenever we are discussing about dark, that means bold. But what's happening here? It is making the text darker, but for what? I'm not able to dark the codes as well. Why? See, where I have used the bold tag inside quotation tag. So I'm not including the quotes inside bold tag, right? So because of that, I'm not able to make the text dark. So, but if I'm using a bold tag first, and if I wrap them inside a bold tag, then it's a different case. Now the quotes are also having a darker color. And if I want to apply an italic style along with that, so again, what I'm doing here, I'm considering a bold tag Then inside it, I'm writing italic, and then I'm wrapping this. Now it is more looking like a quotation. And also if I want to mark it, I can. So let's mark it. I don't want to mark the quotes. I just want to mark the text. Any questions? Any doubts? Anything that we want to discuss? Nothing. Okay. And similar to this, okay, so where is it? What do you recall if I left anything behind? Yeah, basically these are all the tags. But now let's go to inspect once again. So if you look at the inspect, so we are having a lot of other tags as well. Ignore the Grammarly because this was came because I have some extension, Grammarly extension. But keeping this Grammarly aside, so have I write HTML anywhere? HTML tag. Have I used HTML tag in my code? No. Head tag? No. And body? No. This is the only content that I have written inside it. But why it is even including all these tags like HTML, head and body? So the answer is we are writing the code, like we are writing the HTML code. But whatever the thing that we are writing here is not a proper way. Why? Because we have to follow a certain structure. So basically, we are going to mention, this entire thing is an HTML. And because that's what an HTML is. HTML is nothing but the web page. So here when I go to inspect, this entire code was wrapped inside HTML. So representing that this entire code is an HTML code. And why am I getting this? Again, browser is providing this tags for us. So shall we leave it like that? The answer is no, we shouldn't. Why? When we are writing HTML code, it's our responsibility to write it properly. So let's write it. So HTML. So basically you are going to use and you are going to wrap the entire text. But again, HTML, nothing but the web page was divided into two categories. One was head, the another one was body. So what is head and what is body? So basically, whatever the content that you are representing or writing and or else displaying for the client is or nothing but whatever the content that you are displaying on the white canvas, you are going to write it the content inside body. So nothing but whatever the things that we have written so far, we are going to write them inside body. Right? No changes will be happening. See, just by writing them, you might be wondering, will it make any changes? The answer is no. It will not make any changes. We are just following a structure. Always remember, like following a structure will not make any changes. But it's a mandate one. You have to write this code like this only. Whenever you are writing HTML, you have to write HTML tag first. Then inside HTML, you have to write head and body. And inside body only, you are going to write the content which you are going to display for the client or for the user. But what we are going to write inside head? So in head, we are going to write the information about the body, right? So like what? Like, so if you look at this web page, so this is a web page, this is also a web page. So here it is having a name demo. But what about this one? So like it is having same name as in the address bar, but it is not having like that, right? So instead of that, it is having a demo name. So how can I write this? So basically, I'm giving a name to the web page, right? So whatever the body I'm having here, I'm giving a name to this body, right? So as we are not involving the body, we are actually working for the body here. So whatever the things that will work for the body will be placed inside head. So we are going to have a tag called as title, which will give a name to our web page. సో వెబ్ పేజ్ కి నేమ్ కావాలంటే మీరు ఏం యూజ్ చేయాలి, టైటిల్ అనే ట్యాగ్ యూజ్ చేయాలి. అండ్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు యూజ్ దిట్, యూజ్ దిస్ ట్యాగ్ ఇన్సైడ్ హెడ్ ఓన్లీ. అండ్ లెట్స్ సే home. See? And it is going to reflect here. It will not reflect on the content. This is the another reason why we are writing it inside head. So what is the body functionality, like body tag working here? Whatever the content that is going to display for the client or for the user will be placed inside body, or nothing but whatever the content we are placing on the white canvas will be written inside body. Is the title is displaying on the white canvas? No. So because of that one reason, we are placing it inside head, and it belongs to the body. It is representing the body. Clear? Any questions? No, nothing. And what are the other tags that we are going to write inside a title? So we are having a lot of tags like meta tags, and you might be wondering what are meta tags. So meta tags basically use it for representing the web page or to provide extra information about the web page. So who are going to use the meta tags? Are we going to use them? The answer is no. So basically we are going to use meta tags. Only 2 meta tags will be used by us, but there are more than 2. So basically digital marketing team will be there. So SEO, I think you all heard about SEO, right? Let's see. Have you ever searched for Flipkart in a browser? So this is how we search the things, right? If I want to if I want to get any website, I will simply go to browser and I will type the name of the website. But the part is that's not how the websites will store, right? They are going to have a domain name like www.flipkart.com. So we are not going to type all those stuff. Instead of that, what we will say, we simply say Flipkart. So that is called as a keyword. So based upon the keyword, the search engine will fetch the websites. So whatever the websites that are including this Flipkart keyword inside them, it is going to fetch. So because when I'm using Flipkart, the first thing that you can see here is Amazon, right? So why? So if I open this, so what happened here? So at the title, it is stating Amazon.in Flipkart. So it is having a keyword inside it. So even if I open this, if I go to inspect, I can go inspect here as well. So this is where we are having head. And if I click on head, so you can find a lot of scripts, and also you can find meta tags here. And just scroll for some time, you can find some information, right? So see here, you are having meta again. Exactly. Very I'm seeing it somewhere. So basically, there are going to be some meta tags which is going to contain these informations. Maybe it was encrypted or something. And also see here in the title they use Flipkart. So based upon all this information, this search engine will fetch the websites. So that is the main reason why we are able to get the Amazon in the first place. And you can even find the Flipkart because that's what Flipkart. And similar to it, so sometimes you will find a different websites as well. Or else, for example, if I need watches, I want to purchase some watches. So what's going to happen? You can find a lot of websites. Why? Because they are all getting fetched based upon the keyword I'm searching here. So these keywords are going to be placed or considered by the SEO, search engine optimization. There is going to be a separate team working on these keywords. So they will look for the keywords which are related to the website and they will include it. So it is not part in our course because we don't care about them. We are not into deploying part, right? And also we are not into maintenance. So basically these things will be taken care by the digital marketing. But that's when we are going to use meta tags. So that's it. And also we can use head tag in many ways, like to include CSS, to include JavaScript, we are going to use head tags. But let's not get into it for now. But any questions so far? Any questions? Any doubts? And Abu and Shruti, are you having any doubts? If you stay silent, that means you understood everything. Mm. Right. So, what about today's assignment? I don't worry, I will not give anything new. So, yesterday you have worked on this, right? So, now try to implement those formatting tags and try to make the changes. Like, instead of using BR, use paragraph tag. And also make sure you are using HTML head and body properly. So, you have to include HTML head and body. Done. Any questions? Any doubts? Done. That's it. హెడ్ ట్యాగ్ ఐ మీన్ బేసిక్గా హెడ్డింగ్ కోసం హెడ్డింగ్ ఒకటనే కాదు. సో రేపొద్దున ఇన్ ఫ్యూచర్ క్లాసెస్లో మనకి సిఎస్ఎస్ కూడా ఉంటుంది. సో సిఎస్ఎస్ ఇంక్లూడ్ చేస్తాం అండ్ స్క్రిప్ట్స్ ఉంటాయి, జావా స్క్రిప్ట్, అప్పుడు అవన్నీ ఇంక్లూడ్ చేస్తాం. వాటన్నిటికీ మనం హెడ్ ట్యాగ్ అనేది యూజ్ చేస్తాం.
మీకు ఇలాంటి కెరియర్ గైడెన్స్ గురించి ఇంకా డీటెయిల్స్ కావాలనుకున్నా, లేకపోతే ఇంకేమైనా కోర్స్ డీటెయిల్స్ కావాలి అనుకున్నా, మీకు ఇక్కడ నెంబర్ ఇస్తున్నాం, ఆ నెంబర్కి కాల్ చేయండి. అండ్ ఆల్సో కింద ఒక ఫామ్ ఉంటుంది, ఆ ఫామ్ డీటెయిల్స్ని ఫిల్ చేయండి.
మరిన్ని వీడియోస్ కోసం సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోండి. బ్రాలీ అకాడమీ.